Well, good morning, YouTube friends and family, and welcome to today's breezy edition of the Wellness Homesteader. So it's pretty early in the morning. It's about 8 o'clock, and we have had a lot of pop-up storms in the last few days, so I thought I would come out and check to see how my weed and grass killer was working on my poison ivy. So if you see here, where it's really bare, that is where I have been spraying. However, if you look up here, this branch is still poison ivy, as well as some pop-ups over here. So I wanted to share something with you if you've never used one of these. I absolutely love it, and I've had mine forever. You can buy them at Lowe's, any kind of a home improvement center. I believe I did buy this at Lowe's, but this is truly so old, I can't even tell you when I purchased it. So what you do to use it, let me untangle it first, is you simply twist the top and you pump air until you meet resistance, lock the lid, and then you just press the sprayer button and it will distribute the weed killer. So I have warned this poison ivy it's gonna die, although it thinks it won't. So yeah, we are working hard at that. So one issue I am having, maybe you all could leave me a comment, if you look down below, a lot of what is lying on the ground, which is still green, are poison ivy leaves. I'm not willing to take a chance on picking it up, touching it, going near it. So I'm going to try to just spray them on the ground and see if that won't help them to turn brown, shrivel up, and I won't have to worry as much about getting poison ivy. So if you have any other suggestions, I would love to hear that. Because I have to say, guys, poison ivy is the bane of my existence. I have had it so many times. And what I've also discovered is I have a few little starts in the actual flower bed, so don't judge my flower bed hygiene because it's just not worth the risk. I'm finally pretty much well from my last bout. I'm sure it won't be the last bout, but hopefully it will continue to die back and I will not get poison ivy again for the second time, which I usually do towards fall when I start to do some flower bed cleanup. So if you have any suggestions about what to do with all those poison ivy leaves on the ground other than spray them, and I don't like spraying, but guys, I will for poison ivy. Leave me a comment below and let me know what are your suggestions for getting rid of all that poison vine. So we're gonna head to the garden. We had some pretty hefty storms here 3 days ago with tornado warnings. So I'm actually going to be working on my mammoth sunflowers and I want to bring you along. So stay tuned. So you've all heard the saying, one man's trash is another man's treasure, right? And in the case of the two, perfectly good, I guess you would call them trellises. I actually picked these up from someone's trash pile about a year ago. So normally when I grow the regular mammoth sunflowers, I don't have any problem with them falling over until the head is fully ripened. But as you can see down here, I've got a few that have fallen over, probably from the strong winds. So in an effort to salvage them, because yes, I want all of them to grow, I am going to try to put this trellis in the ground. So, how about that? So I did bring some twine, but I think I might be in luck and be able to just simply hold it up with my two actually attractive, pretty at the top, free trellises. So let's go around and do the other. So there you have it, a free fix for my sunflowers, which hopefully will last through this oncoming rain today. It's extremely humid. Very rare that my central air runs at 8 o'clock in the morning, but it's already running today. I'm going to do just a quick walkthrough with you in the garden and show you some updates and show you just how many weeds have popped up in like 3 days, so stay tuned. So I'm very delighted to report that my sugar pie pumpkins are just finally taking off. Over here is butternut squash. It's had a rougher start, but I'm starting to see what I would consider to be some real growth. But even with the mulch, look at all the grass, guys. I mean, it's just like it never ends. And this is a back view of the sunflowers. Over here, I have kind of an anemic looking jalapeno. Not very healthy at the bottom, but certainly looking better at the top. Those are my Indiana melon, which I'm just letting them grow. Whatever happens, happens. I did put some squash in the corners in hopes that maybe I could get a little squash vine. So far, nothing. Here are my onions starting to come up that I just planted. So yeah. And of course the asparagus is done for the season. My mint and lemon balm are almost ready to flower and go to seed, and that's fine. I will cut that back and it will regrow a second time in the season. My tomatoes, guys, look. I have a baby tomato, my first, and a weed. Actually, here's another one. So this one and the one back here with the red cages are red tomatoes. These two are the two that I started from seed. So I will link the gardening playlist if you want to go back and watch how I started these indoors, perhaps for later reference. But they are looking super healthy and tall. They are up to my thigh. And then these two are my Brad's Atomic Grape tomatoes from Baker Creek. And they also are getting very close to blooming. So this one's doing a little better than the other, but that can be par for the course. But as you can see, I definitely have some weeding to get accomplished here. So before the rain comes, I'm going to get weeding. So stay tuned. So I thought I would just share a few pieces of information with you as I sit here and do the endless weeding. You may be wondering, like, why, if there's not that much, why are you even worried about it? But because my garden has struggled this year with, we had an unseasonably cold spurt. Now I have dirt on my neck, followed by just crazy dry weather and 90 degrees, and then torrential rains. You know, it's just not been easy. So I thought I would try to get a little head start before we have rain today. Tomorrow's supposed to be delightfully cool, so like only a high of around 70. So I thought, well, I'll get some done today. If I don't finish everything, I've still got tomorrow, because I know the rain is coming this morning. It's very, very gray. You may be asking yourself, wait a minute, I totally thought that your mom was coming. Where's your mom? Excuse my shirt, guys. My apologies. So, as I shared, my mom does not like to come here. And I don't have an explanation. It's my mom doesn't like to go anywhere. So, like the day I took her shopping was, I don't know, just like a fluke, because it's not normal mother. So, 4 o'clock, the night before I was supposed to go pick up mom, she decides she's not coming. So I have been spending a lot of time, which I'm happy to do, but running back and forth. It's about an hour and a half round trip, so it makes it a little bit challenging for me. I do not want to go stay with her simply because I have a cat, I have a garden, my mom doesn't have internet, I need to be doing YouTube videos. There's all sorts of excuses I could give you as to why I'm choosing just to go back and forth, but it's working. So I got a little bit ahead on videos, so I'm not even sure what day this one's gonna air. It may seem like a little bit behind the times, but it's given me a little bit of time to kind of reflect on my channel and topics that I talk about, and I will share with you all. I'm a little bit puzzled because I really try to bring you good videos. I don't have fancy editing, y'all know that. Informative videos, and certainly my topics aren't consistently of interest to everyone, I get that. But I've actually had a slight decline in subscribers, so I thought I would pose to y'all today. What would you like to see different than what I'm doing, or differently than I'm doing right now? Is there, I've kind of changed up and I'm doing a lot of topics outside of just homesteading, because even though I do it on such a small scale, obviously, size of my garden, I still consider myself a homesteader, and I like to share information and knowledge about being more self-sufficient. But I also like to do other videos about improving your home, doing things on a budget. So drop me a comment below if you please would, and let me know, is there topics that I'm not doing that you would like to see? How can I help you enjoy the channel more and bring you the best value for your time? Because I know time is precious. My time is precious as well. And while I'm not a big TV watcher, I am a big YouTube watcher, and I like to watch videos where I can learn, and some of them that I can just enjoy folks' personalities, or I do like product reviews because it helps me know what I might like to purchase and why. So yeah, leave me a comment below. Well, I'm gonna stop talking, get back to work. All of my grass and stuff that I pull up will go over here in my compost bin. Whew, it's buggy out here. And I will share with you, that's where I place my food. It has a double locking system, so it keeps out the raccoons. We have a lot of raccoons here. And they're very clever. I'm surprised they haven't figured it out yet, but so far so good. But you do need a combination of green, some dirt, as well as the food and water to really get it to decompose. So I love this bin. I will link it below. I did buy it on Amazon. I've had it for several years, but I'm sure they still make it. On the sides that you can't see, it has a door, so you can actually raise the door, take your composted material out the bottom, so you're not having to dig and lift. So it is a really good unit. I had thought about the ones where you turn, but I just used to use a pitchfork to stir mine with, and it works just fine. So I'm gonna get back at it here, try to do a little bit more weeding before the rain hits. And I apologize that I keep blinking funny and all that. I'm having horrible allergies, and that is unusual for me, especially in my eyes. So I put eye makeup on today, and I'm thinking that might not have been the smartest thing, but we'll see how long it stays on. So I'm gonna finish this up, and then we're gonna go inside and do something a little bit different, so stay tuned. So I did manage to get my garden weeded before the rain came, so I'm super excited about that. But today I'm gonna bring you my first ever product review, and this is the W House Wii Rotary LED Digital Timer. So you may be thinking, I don't need a timer. I have a timer on my stove, or I have a timer on my microwave, or I want to use my phone as a timer. And while all those things work, I have to share with you, sometimes when I'm cooking something in the oven, I will go upstairs, totally forget that I'm cooking. Probably never happens to you all. Might be my age, and I overcook my food. So this little timer is portable. It has a great signal. I'm going to show you all that in just a moment. So it does come with an instruction manual as well as some information about the company. I'm going to link that below in the description box, and I will share with you also, if you use the link, it is regularly a $20 timer. It is on sale for $13.99, and you can check the box to get an additional $2 coupon off while you're on Amazon. So let's get to the timer. So it has a little stand that you can open up in the back, or you can just pack it around. And I just touched the screen. Up on top, it has a set button. This does different increments, okay? Or let's say you don't want 10 minutes. I'm having trouble doing this backwards, can you tell? You simply turn the dial. Maybe you only need 2 minutes or 1 minute. Let's put it down to a minute so that I can, we'll do 25 seconds actually. You just push it and it starts counting down. So I want you to hear how loud and nice the timer is. On the back, you can adjust the loudness of the timer as well as the brightness of the LED screen. It is battery operated, but lasts a very long time on batteries because it is LED. So we're about to go off here. So I guess I just accidentally turned it and set it again for 25 more seconds, but I highly recommend this. And I'm not a promoter of others' products, y'all know that. I have been approached several times by this company. They make a lot of kitchenwares, but it was for things for me that were not something that I would use, and therefore I couldn't really review it. But I can tell you this timer is magnificent. It is so great to be able to go upstairs and know that I'm not going to burn my food because I can actually hear the timer from upstairs. So again, I'll put the link below in the description box to my Amazon affiliate store. And as always, you know, as an Amazon affiliate, if you choose to use the link, there's a very small amount of compensation that will go on my account. So I definitely appreciate it. And I hope you found this product review helpful. So now that I've done that, I am going to change gears and we're going to get into something different. So stay tuned. So I forgot to mention that I did receive this W House Wii timer complimentary for my honest review. So I needed to add that in there. Well, the wind has picked up. So I hope you all will excuse my hair. Now you see why I wear it up all the time. So I'm out on my deck because we seem to have had a break in the weather and the forecasted rain has not arrived. So I had to come out and water my pots anyway. And as I was watering my veggie pod, I quickly realized it's time to do something about my borage. So let me flip you around here. Oops, I'm sitting you in a bucket. That's not good. And so the borage is this plant here. It has fuzzy leaves. It has not yet flowered, but you can see it's so proliferative that it's literally taking over my veggie pod. Borage is a perennial. It is known to grow in very poor soil, but borage has a couple unique properties I wanted to share with you. So, depending on the source, and I'm going to share a couple books with you as well, borage is good to plant near strawberries because it attracts pollinators, bees, to help your strawberries grow. I planted strawberries this year. They never came up. So, wah wah, that didn't go so well, but we shall see. At first you don't succeed, try again. The other garden use for borage is if you plant it near tomatoes, it prevents cutworms from attacking your tomatoes. And I've shown you all, I have some pretty lovely tomatoes that I'm really hoping will grow So I'm actually going to transplant my borage out into the garden. It is a perennial that self-seeds, so it will spread. Um, I've been going back and forth on whether or not I want to expand my garden space and actually till up part of the yard and have an earth garden versus raised bed gardens. Not sure that is exactly what I want to do. So I'm going to ruminate on that a bit because I don't have to make a decision today, that's for sure. So I like having books about herbs. One of my favorites, and I'll link it below, is the Herb Bible. So you can buy this new, sometimes used on Amazon or used from a place like Abe's Books. My copy was actually used and it's like pristine, brand new. I think, oops, yeah, it does have an inscription in it, but that is the only mark in the book. No pages are missing. So borage is often used as a room fragrance in potpourri. And this book has tables that will show you like how you use it. But I wanted to share with you, there is a recipe for rainbow potpourri. So depending on how many flowers we get, we might make some potpourri. It also has a table in the back that just has some wide variety uses for herbs. So you can use it in skin lotion. Now, let me say this. I don't have the ability to extract oil from seed. That is a very sophisticated process. And I am assuming that that's what they mean by use in skin lotion because I'm sure it's not the plant. You can, it's edible. Let me just pull a little piece off here. It tastes just like a mild cucumber. It is delicious. So it's good in salads, it's good in sauces. Some countries actually make a green sauce with it or make a borage soup because it is native to their area and very proliferative. So you could make a cucumber tasting tea from it as well. But the most common way you'll see borage used is as a garnish on desserts. So since the flower is edible, sometimes they're frozen in ice cubes, sometimes they're sugared and frozen and then just used as decoration. So I am going to prepare a place in the garden. I am going to split it up into 2 areas because there's a lot of borage in there. Put some potting soil in here, and then I'm also going to harvest some of my herbs and share with you quickly how I dehydrate my herbs. And this will be my second dehydrator full of herbs, and it is only late June. So stay tuned. Well, of course, as soon as I come outside, it's clouded up like it's going to rain, so I'm gonna have to make this quick. I relocated some borage to the tomato patch. And then on either end of the flower bed around the deck, because it is a good pollinator attractor, it will do good for my perennial flowers. So I have refilled here with some fresh potting soil. And although I know they're perennial, I have zero luck with chives, guys. I have tried and tried and tried and tried. So we're gonna plant some chives in here. So it says to plant them 1/4 of an inch. So actually what I'm going to do is just sprinkle them in way closer than what it says because again I never have luck with chives. I will take a little dirt, sprinkle over top. 1/4 inch is very shallow, just enough to cover the seeds. Tamp them down. And the last thing I will do is water, but before I do that, I need to get the dirt off my hand because I'd like to harvest some herbs. So let me do that really quick. All right, so I just have a little tub here, and I am going to harvest some of my beautiful dill. And if you notice, I have, oh my gosh, chamomile. I've had so much poison ivy, I started to call it calamine. which that's the pink stuff you put on poison ivy. So I'm just giving my dill a haircut, and then this will go in the dehydrator. It dries quite quickly, but I'm going to leave quite a bit because I may want to do some fresh pickles. Then my basil is huge, so I am just going to chop off like this much. We'll take it inside to harvest that. I just did sage, so do a few more sage leaves, because if I'm going to run the dehydrator, I like to have a full dehydrator. So this sage is some of the most beautiful and flavorful sage I have ever grown. So I'm super tickled with it. So a lesson I've learned is I planted everything way too close together. So I need to remember that for next year. And I'm also going to give my rosemary a bit of a haircut. And cutting back does encourage them to spread. So yeah, note to self, I could use like 4 of these, but I love having fresh herbs right at my fingertips. I don't have enough chamomile flowers yet to really harvest, so I'm gonna let them grow a little bit longer. I did notice when I transplanted the borage that there is seed heads on a couple of them, so I should have those flowers soon as well to be adding to salads or to dry for potpourri. I will probably eat them, to be honest. So hang tight, I'm gonna get everything in before we get poured on, and I'll show you how I dehydrate my herbs, so stay tuned. So I thought some of you might be curious as to how I prep my herbs for dehydration. So I give them a quick rinse, blot dry with a paper towel. Things like this are not going to dehydrate well. So for basil, I do pull the individual leaves off. I know, depending on the style, I have a tray style dehydrator. Some of you may have the stackable. Things will come out much better and retain their flavor better if you don't just cram them in many layers deep. So I'm kind of fussy about how I dehydrate my herbs, but I consider all the time, energy, and effort I've put into growing them. I certainly don't want to end up with a subpar product. So yes, it takes a little bit of time. For dill and rosemary, I will wait until it's dehydrated to remove it from the stem. It's far, far easier. And for the sage, I just put the individual leaves like this. So yeah, it takes a little bit of time. You know, put some of my old videos on your phone and watch while you do the work. To me, this is like the greatest joy in life. I would rather do this than about anything. And I'm so discouraged with all this rain in one way, but you know, it's so good for my garden. The other thing of note, and the reason I didn't take you out to the garden, number one, I was afraid it was going to pour on us, and I did not want to get the camera wet, the ring light wet. But when I transplanted the borage, it is so tender. So I had to dig really deep and take like the whole root ball, because it could not withstand the stress of much manipulation. And I did notice a lot of the lower leaves were yellow, so I picked those off. So it promptly looked sad and wilted. So I did water it very well, both in the garden and in the flower bed, and we'll see how it fares. I think it'll be fine. Knowing that borage is such a hardy plant and will grow in subpar conditions, I think it will be fine. It may stunt the blooming for a bit, but again, we're just nearing the end of June, so I still have 2 full months at minimum of grow time before I have to worry about the danger of frost, and probably much longer than that. So I am going to take my chances. As far as putting perennials in the veggie pot, I think it's fine to start them there. I certainly didn't have plans to actually leave them there. So I think, you know, think about what you're putting into your containers. It's fine to grow perennials in containers. just realize that with the shallower dirt, it's going to be much more prone to deep freezing if that's a consideration for the plant. So I'm going to keep picking these apart, still a little wet, and loading up my trays, and then I will take you into the dining room where I have the dehydrator to keep the heat out of the house. And please excuse my perspiration, but you know, we just passed the summer solstice, so wow, you know, summer's flying by, so let's enjoy this heat while we can. Stay tuned. So I have all of my herbs prepped, and I wanted to bring you in, and I will link this below, and show you my dusty Magic Mill food dehydrator. So a lot of folks have Excaliburs. I chose this personally because it is an all metal construction, and the racks are also metal. So that avoids, for me, the plastic issue. So let me share with you what we harvested. And this is my second harvest. So here is our dill. And I just leave those sprigs in reasonable sized pieces. My basil, my beautiful, it is the most aromatic basil I think I've ever grown. I have 2 trays of basil. So here's my other. And I also think taking the time to single layer them makes a huge, huge difference. And here is our sage. And then the final tray, let me kind of rearrange this. This may have to stay a little longer in the dehydrator. This is our rosemary. I do leave it on the stem because it's much easier after it's dried to actually harvest it off. So the Magic Mill, you shut the door. Wow, do I need to clean that? And then you hit the on button. Mine automatically defaults to 10 hours, and that's perfect for these type of herbs. And then the temperature automatically starts at 158, which is way too high in my opinion for herbs. Oops. So I'm going to take it down, to 113. So around 115, 120 is good. And then you just walk away. It will run. Your home will smell so deliciously aromatic like you've never seen before. So I highly recommend the Magic Mill. I actually have 2. I like it so much. And when I'm dehydrating tomatoes, and I do like to do that for pizzas and different things, 2 come in really, really handy. It took me a few years to actually acquire the second one. This is the newer version with the all stainless steel case, and I really, really like it. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If so, could you please press that like button, give me a thumbs up, let me know you're enjoying this content. I'm trying to bring you some different topics, but yet be real and show you what day-to-day life is. Not always super exciting when you are homesteading, and there's always work to be done. But as always, be healthy, be well, be blessed, and I'll see y'all very soon. Take care.